Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library in our children's section with a whole new middle grade book spotlight. So our theme for this week is we are going to be exploring some of our authors that are from here, from Virginia, and we have a ton of amazing authors that live in our state. So we have 6 we're going to take a look at, so let's get started. Our first one is Mighty Jack by Ben Hackey. So this graphic novel is inspired by the classic tale of Jack and the Beanstalk, but there is nothing classic about this story. Jack finds himself at the flea market with his sister Maddie, who is autistic and never speaks. It is there, though, that she starts speaking for the first time ever at an old man's booth, and she convinces Jack to trade their family car for a packet of seeds. When Jack goes home and he starts to plant the seeds, some of the strangest and craziest stuff starts to grow. There's plants, but there's also creatures. And they start to become a little more dangerous with each seed that is planted. Deciding the only thing that is logical to do to figure all of this out, Jack decides to destroy the garden, but he doesn't realize that Maddie has kept one of these seeds, and it may be the most dangerous one of all. This amazing graphic novel is filled with adventure, fantasy, friendship, and some pretty amazing humor. There are others in this series as well, plus there is also a crossover with Zeta the Space Girl, which Ben also has done as well. This is Mighty Jack. Strange Case of Origami Yoda. Now, I have to be completely honest with you, this is one of my personal favorites. I love this book. So when Tommy's friend Dwight makes the Yoda origami finger puppet, and it kind of starts to dispense advice when people ask it questions, Tommy decides he wants to figure out, is this for real or is it not? So he starts an investigation. In order to come to a conclusion, Tommy sets out to interview not only his friends, but also his classmates and peers as well, who have interacted with the Origami Yoda, and he gets all of their first-hand accounts in regard to what happened to them, and that is what fills this book. And it's up to you to figure out what you believe or what you don't believe. If you love Star Wars, if you love humor, origami, friendship, then this is the perfect book for you. The first in a series that you will want to read, every single one of them. They all have a Star Wars theme to them. Tom Engelberger even includes in the back of this how to fold an origami Yoda, and he walks you through step by step how to make your own origami Yoda. Again, I love this book. I cannot recommend it enough. Strange Case of Origami Yoda. The Paper Cowboy by Kristen Levine. So Tommy is growing up in the 1950s, and honestly, he is having a terrible childhood. His mother is very depressed, and she takes it out on Tommy, his siblings, and also his father, especially through some pretty epic verbal lashings. And to top it off, his older sister was recently burned in an accident that Tommy thinks he caused. To help make things better, Tommy takes an early morning paper route, delivering newspapers to individual places in his community. But this kind of leads to him to start making some decisions that may not be the best, including stealing from stores and becoming a bully. Not only becoming a bully, but leading his friends to bully some others in their community. When Tommy goes too far, though, and he puts a whole family and their business at jeopardy, he has to start figuring out who he really wants to be as a person and what it means to do the right thing. This historical fiction book reads it's so realistic, it could even apply to today, and you will be with Tommy every step of the way on his life-changing journey that you will want to see from beginning to end. This is The Paper Cowboy. Brotherhood by A.B. Westrick. So the Civil War is finally over, and Union soldiers are in the Virginia capital of Richmond. That's where 14-year-old Shad lives, and he's trying to figure out life now that not only is the war over and the South has lost, but his father was killed at the Battle of Gettysburg, and his older brother Jeremiah is extremely angry. Shad soon finds himself torn between two worlds, though, as one of the worlds is with his brother. His brother has introduced him to a group of people who are just as angry as he is, and they have formed a group called the Ku Klux Klan. Sean likes the feeling that the group brings to him, but he's not entirely sure if he is agreeing with them. The other world he's kind of in is in the house of the Perkinsons, who run a school which educates all children, white and black. And Shad is dyslexic, and they offer to help him with his reading, and he can't really turn down that amazing offer. As he starts to enjoy school and his new friends, he soon learns that his new group that his brother has brought him into, the Ku Klux Klan, he learns that they want to destroy the school as well as the people in it because they teach black students, and they don't really agree with that. Shad has a choice that he has to make, and it's one that he's going to live with for the rest of his life, and this amazing historical fiction novel that takes you to a time that a lot of books usually don't. We read about the Civil War, but we don't really get to read about what it was like after the Civil War. This is Brotherhood. Deafo by C.C. Bell. So when C.C. loses her hearing when she is very young, she grows up exploring the world deaf. C.C. finds herself going to school, making friends, learning how to deal with everyone who does not understand her, as well as being fitted for a phonic ear, which allows her to hear through an implant, and then the other person talking wears a microphone that she can hear more clearly from, but it leads to some definitely funny moments. She names herself Deafo in her alternate universe, and she wants to retaliate against people who are mean to her because they don't understand her. But at the same time, she doesn't want to learn sign language because she doesn't want people to know she's deaf. Like Cece's really torn on who she is supposed to be and who she is comfortable being. This graphic novel is so incredibly honest. This is based on the author's life. You will find yourself in someone else's shoes and how everyone else is pretty much the same, no matter what our differences are. Again, I highly recommend Deafo. It is an amazing graphic novel. I could not put it down. You won't be able to put it down either. And our last one is Theodore Boone, The Abduction by John Grisham. So Theo's parents are lawyers, and naturally he wants to follow in their footsteps as well, leading him to basically becoming like a kid lawyer to his friends and peers. When his best friend April goes missing, though, in the middle of the night, Theo is completely out of his element. Like, he usually has the answers and solutions to stuff. He has nothing this time, and he's never had to deal with that before. As the police start to hit dead ends, Theo and his friends decide they need to take matters into their own hands if she is going to be found safe and sound. Because apparently the police, they're not going to be able to do this. This suspenseful page-turner is filled with twists and turns, and it will keep you guessing and trying to solve this mystery along with Theo. This is a series. You don't necessarily have to read them in order. You can read them as standalones, but there are numerous titles in the Theodore Boone Kid Lawyer series. So, these are just 6 of the books that we have here written by Virginia authors. We have a ton in this library, and there are way more authors than these 6 that are living right here in Virginia. So we invite you, encourage you to come on down to the library, take a look at maybe one of these, or maybe if you are wanting something else, we are more than welcome to help you find that perfect book that you are looking for. I hope you tune back next week when we have a whole new middle grade book spotlight with a completely different theme, and I hope you have a great week.